Welcome to Alignment Adventures, a podcast where we explore what it means to live a fulfilling, aligning, and present life. I'm your host, Lindsay Tanner, and I'm so dang glad you're here. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another episode of Alignment Adventures. I'm so grateful and excited that you are here with me today. And if you are listening to this in real time, we are heading into the busy time of the year, or perceived as the busiest time of the year. You may be doing something differently, but for a lot of our society, these last 2 weeks of the year around the holidays can be so busy as you're heading from house to house, family to family, to celebrate the holidays, and it can be really fun and also really exhausting. So I always just feel really called around this time to record something for you guys that's really going to help you ground yourself as you head into this busy season, to remind you of those key practices of being present. So with that being said, do check out a recent YouTube video I just recorded. It's 5 tips on how to live a more present and fulfilling life. It's all things I've mentioned on here before, but I just wanted to house it in one space and have a video to go along with it. It felt really fun and exciting to do. So go check that out if that feels aligning to you. I know I'm going to watch that right before we go home just to remind myself one more time, because it's not about doing this perfectly. I really beat myself up sometimes, like, why haven't you figured this out yet? And you probably hear that in some of my interviews. I'm like, why is this so hard for humans? It's not about doing this perfectly. It's about just coming back again and again and again. And over time, we start to soften and these things become more natural. But a lot of this wiring goes deep, like not being present goes deep in our society. So just be patient and compassionate with yourself as you try to be more present, because we're not going to do it perfectly, and that's not the goal. The goal is just to come back and reconnect, because it feels so good when you do reconnect with the present moment. Everything else kind of fades away. All those worries and anxieties fade away for a moment, and you can just enjoy that moment, the beauty of that moment. So I am being called to take 2 weeks off, so no promises. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm really trying to let go of like mind stories around the podcast and what I think I quote unquote should do. But I am feeling called to take a little break over the holidays, which I really haven't taken that many breaks since I've started. And again, that's a mind story saying you got to keep going. But I really, again, just want to be present with my family. So just a heads up, there may not be any episodes until the new year. So that's my plan, but we'll see. I may release like a little bonus meditation thing on here that's just feeling fun. I always use that as my guidepost, like what feels fun and exciting, and that's what I do. So I hope I encourage you to do the same. Like what feels fun in this moment, go do that thing. But today I really want to talk about something that, you know what's interesting? I looked and saw what I recorded last year at this time, and I had this exact topic. And it's so funny because it's still pertainable, and that is overthinking. In this season of life, I'm really focusing on not overthinking, because overthinking never serves us. Like thinking something to death never comes, like you never come to a solution. I come to solutions when I tune into my internal guidance, when I go within and ask myself, what is the truth around the subject? And we each have our own internal guidance. We each have our own truth. So I just want to share some examples with you. Hopefully you can carry them with you into this season so you're not like overthinking things. Especially, I don't know why, I feel like when we go to like these family events and they're so fun, but a lot of times those can be triggering for people. Like you can go into those events and overthink all the things that you did this year, and like maybe someone asks you about it and I don't know, your mind just comes in with all these stories. So tune into this practice when that happens, whether it's at a family event or just you sitting at home when you're overthinking things. But what I've been doing recently And I already mentioned this, but when it feels fun to do something, I just go and do it. And I go and do it before I can talk myself out of it. So I'll give you some examples. One was this picture I posted the other day. This may seem like a silly example, but it was a picture of Arlo and I. And I just thought it was so cute. He was in his little carrier and had the cutest little beanie on. And I was like, you know what? This feels fun to share. Like, I'm sure people want to see Arlo and his cute beanie. But then I came up with all these stories about sharing it. Like, okay, Lindsay, you're in the bathroom. That's kind of weird. It's like a bathroom selfie. The mirror was dirty. You could see the toilet roll in the background. All these things that my mind wanted to talk me out of not posting it. But I was like, you know what? It feels fun in this moment. I'm just going to do it and I'm not going to overthink it. And I did it. And I think it brought some joy to people's day. I don't know. That's again me overthinking it right now. But when you're starting to feel those mind stories come in and consume you, just stop, pause. This is like a key part of, I don't know if you guys have heard of taking care of babies. That is something we've been kind of diving into around like getting your baby to sleep. But that's a key component of her work too, is pausing. But how beautiful it is to just pause. Pause when you feel that story starting to run its marathon in your brain. Pause, take 3 deep breaths, and go into your body. Go into your body and ask your internal guidance what it wants you to do in this moment. Or maybe you need to go into your body and feel that emotion. Another example of this. So, as you know, or may not know, with newborns, it can be difficult to get them to sleep. Arlo's a pretty good sleeper, but naps seem to be our tricky part right now. So a lot of times I'll be like trying to get him to sleep and I'll just feel this frustration building within. What I do is I pause, I breathe, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling frustrated right now. And as soon as I do that, the frustration level goes from 7 or 8, wherever it may be, pretty, I'm feeling it pretty intensely, to like a 1 or a 2. Like it immediately drops and I just have space from that emotion. And I'm just like allowing myself to feel it, but it immediately drops back down. Such a beautiful practice, and something I mentioned in my presence video on YouTube as well. So I just encourage you, if you're starting to overthink anything in your life, you do not have to do that. Like, we have been given our mind and our brains and just like not always taught how to use them. I remember one of my guests saying that. I think it was Holly Copeland. Like, we're given this Ferrari and not taught how to use our minds. Our minds are so useful, but they love overthinking. They love thinking about how we're going to address this in the future, or what we're going to do in the future, or how what we did in the past is affecting us now. All that matters is the present moment. So when you're feeling that overthinking feeling, remind yourself, all that matters, all that is important is the now. Breathe, tune in, and do what you're feeling called to do right now. Just keep doing that over and over and over again. And I truly believe as we continue to do this, we're going to get better at it, and we're not going to need as many reminders. I can feel my mind wanting to plan a lot of stuff for 2023. Like, I have so many ideas that I want to share with you guys, but I know that I won't know until I know. I'm not going to know what those offers are going to be for you guys until we're in that moment. But I know it's going to be a lot of cool stuff around internal guidance, tuning into our intuition, stopping the overthinking, helping you guys live more fulfilling, aligning present lives. That's my mission over here. But I don't know what it looks like right now. I don't know the details. And a lot of times my mind will be like, Lindsay, you should be sitting down, planning out this stuff. Like, what are you doing? You should be doing X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. Like to-do lists, right? Who doesn't love their to-do list? Because the mind gets so much satisfaction out of looking at things and crossing them off, and like a little pat on the back of, okay, you were productive today. We put so much worth in our productivity. But what really just matters is the present moment. That's all that is mattering, is that you are in the present moment. Are you in the present moment? Are you really here right now? Or are you thinking about the past or the future? Yes, we have to do that to some degree. Yes, we have to do that to plan and like coordinate with other people because we live in a physical reality. but your essence here, being your awareness, does not. And it is eternal, and it lives in the present moment. So this kind of feels like a ramble, but I hope some of this was useful for you. If you're feeling like you're overthinking, truly just pause, breathe, and tune in. Such a beautiful practice. It really comes down to the simple things. I've recorded a few more interviews for you guys, which I won't be releasing till next year. That just felt aligning. And that was something I also was overthinking, like, when should I release this episode? I don't know. Should people hear it before the holidays or after the holidays? I'm like, you know what? This is what feels right in this moment. I'm going to just do it and stick with it. But in these interviews that you guys are going to hear, it always comes back to these simple practices. To live an aligning life, it's just about breathing and coming back to the present moment and doing things that you love. Our minds just overcomplicate it. And it's okay. We don't need to hate on the mind. I feel like I've gone through phases where I've just been like so mad at the mind. I'm like, why are you the way that you are? You are insane, mind. But it's not about hating our minds. It's about being compassionate and patient with the mind, because we need that to function in this 3D reality. We need that logical part of us. But tuning back into our internal state, our intuitive part of us, is where that true fulfillment lies. Internal alignment over everything. That is something that is so present with me right now. Like nothing else matters except my internal alignment. And that sounds, even my mind's like, well, what about Steven and Arlo? They don't matter? That's not what I mean. What is most important for me to show up as my highest self, my most fulfilled self for them, is my internal alignment. And achieving all these things that I want to achieve, my mind wants to, grow the podcast, grow my business, help more people, yada, yada, yada. If that happens, that's fantastic. But what is most important is my internal alignment, my state of being. Because if I'm not present and enjoying my reality in this moment, what is the point? Like when you put it in that perspective, that always hits home for me. What is the point of like living this life if you're not present? If you're always worrying about the future or worried about the past, you're not present and you're not enjoying your reality. And like, what is the point? So it truly comes back to that. So I hope something in this conversation was useful for you as you head into the holidays. I do have so many exciting things coming out for you guys in 2023. Interviews, offers, all the things. Do I have the details yet? No. But I know I will have them when I'm meant to have them and when it's time to share them with all of you. But just thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join me in this alignment journey. I'm so excited for what is ahead. I'm grounding myself in the present moment. I know there's nowhere else I need to be, but I am excited about things in the future as well. So it's just kind of that dance with being present, and we fall out of being present sometimes, and there's no need to overthink or beat ourselves up about that, right? It's just about breathing and coming back and coming back and coming back. Because in this present moment, you have no problem. In this present moment, there's nothing to worry about. You have everything you need in this present moment. It's just about tuning in and realizing that and being aware of that. I love you all so much. I'm sending you all so much gratitude. Share any takeaways with me over on Instagram. I love talking to you guys about this stuff at Lindsay with an A.M. Tanner. Please subscribe. If you haven't already, we're going to have so many interviews coming up. And I just hope you have the best, most aligning, most present holiday season. And I will see you in 2023.